This is a thrill of a lifetime for me. I'm so excited. When I go to work every day, spend 12 hours traveling to and doing my job, if it's something that is, I don't want to say not where I want to be, but I would rather be where my imagination is, where that picture, and I shouldn't use the word picture, but something else that I've envisioned, it's hard for me to separate that. Because I feel like I keep reproducing that job thing that I want to shift out of.
Maybe you do, because if you keep observing it, you do. But remember what we said about this vortex. One who's in the vortex is more powerful than a million who aren't. So 15 or 20 minutes, 5 or 10, 3 or 4 here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there, is a lot of leverage. You could be in a job that you really don't like, doing your best to make the best of it, looking for positive aspects, feeling appreciative for the things that you do appreciate about it, and then every now and again go into your vortex, into your place of imagination, and make more happen through your imagery than you made happen all day through the action that you are offering. What we want to emphasize is being tuned into the frequency of the vortex makes big things happen. When you look around your world, do you acknowledge that there is any difference in the way people earn? Or is everyone earning exactly the same amount per hour?
No.
So there's a difference. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So some people earn $20 an hour. Some people earn $2,000 an hour. Some people earn $20,000 an hour.
Right.
Some people are earning millions of dollars an hour. In other words, there is a big disparity in the amount of money that people are receiving in response to their focus. Would you say that the people who earn the most are offering the most action or the least action? And would you say the people that are earning the least are offering the most action or the least action? We're not really making the distinction purely between action and thought, but we want to make the point that those who are able to lift free of the binding beliefs of action can tap into the energy of the vortex and create massively. And so what we're saying is you could spend 8 hours at a job you don't like, another 2 hours moving to and from the job you don't like, and during those 2 hours that you're moving to and from the job you don't like, if you were in the vortex, you would be creating so much more benefit in those hours of imagination that you spent in those hours of action that it's not even really worth talking about. You ought to be able to give far more of your daytime attention to unwanted things and just a little bit of time to wanted things, and your world would flip.
That's good to know.
But what happens is almost no one can make that separation because, and here it is, they let the reality train their vibration. So when they try to imagine, they can't, because their reality has trained their vibration. So any imagery they have is about what they're already observing. Don't you love knowing that? Don't you think that's a major breakthrough in understanding why things don't change? Right. So here we come along and we suggest that you just find some reason to ignore reality and to fantasize about a vibrational reality that you like more, and use that in the vortex time to practice a frequency that's different than the frequency of reality. And when you practice a frequency that's different than the frequency of reality, reality has to shift to the new frequency. And your neighbors will say, "Whoa, what happened to you?" And you'll say, "I had a paradigm shift." You'll say, "I am living a parallel life." You'll say, "I tapped in to who I really am, and so who I wasn't can no longer be here where I am." And they'll say, "We'd like it if you would move far away from here now that you've lost your mind completely." And so what we really want you to take away from this gathering, and we think you're really ready to do it, is what kinds of things might I do that will cause me to offer a vibration about what I want? How can I get to where I want to be from where I am in the most effective way? What is the most direct route to it? And we say, do all your talking about it when the problem is not active. And most everybody does almost all their talking about the improvement they seek when the problem is active. That's when you try to discipline your children. You do most of your thinking about what you want in the midst of observing what you don't want. In other words, it's that problem orientation. And you know what makes you have that problem orientation? You are solution oriented. And you innately know that within the problem is the solution. It's just a little mindset shift that is required. So let's speak it again. I will not, we're going to speak it from the side that feels most natural to you at first. I will no longer try to evoke better behavior from my children, from my mother, from my daughter, from my employees. I will no longer try to evoke improved behavior from anyone while I'm observing behavior that is not pleasing to me. I'm no longer going to try to do the impossible. I'm no longer going to make myself vividly, actively involved in the vibration of the problem and ask for a solution at the same time. I finally get it. I cannot set my radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. The frequencies have to match up. I am solution-oriented. I'm solution-oriented, which means I appreciate the problem that has brought the solution into focus. So every time I focus a little on the problem, there's a solution that pops up. Every detail of the problem pops up a solution. I'm solution-oriented. I'm in the vortex-oriented. I must use my imagination because the problem is manifested and they're vivid. But the solution popped up and I have to use my imagination to turn my attention to the solution when I'm entrenched in the problem. There it is. That's deliberate creation at its best. That's what you are all reaching for. Imagination, using my gut, using my emotions, using my ability to see what so far isn't manifested, see it so vividly that I evoke within myself emotional responses. I must get so good at this that rational people call me delusional. I have to get so good at this that rational people say, oh, you see the good in everything. I have to get so good that people say, I don't think anything could make you unhappy. You've got your head in the clouds. You live on a rainbow. You are a Pollyanna. You have to get so good at this that people around you just expect such positive response from you that they no longer find satisfaction complaining to you. Esther said, oh, that person's just deliberately yanking on my chain. And Jerry says, that's because they know your chain is yankable. If that chain wasn't yankable, nobody would pull on it. In other words, if it wasn't out there where people often see it, no one would ever pull on it again. You see what we're getting at? The universe is yielding to you where your airtime is. So we have enjoyed this interaction more than words can express. It is satisfying to come together with those like you who are coming to know who you are. You had a little snatch of the vortex here today, and we know we were annoying most of the day. We know that. But you had moments of pure in the vortexness, and we'll take that. You can be mad at us all day long, and if we can evoke from you 3 or 4 good segments where you resonate completely with who you are, we know that you are forever changed. We know that your vibration is shifted enough that over the next few days, even over the next few weeks, that your vibration is shifted enough that you will see the evidence of the vibrational shift that has taken place here. We think it's time for anyone who wants to be the powerful creator that you were born to be to stop justifying what you want by exploring what is at all. We think it's time for you to make the leap into the vortex and leave what you have known as reality behind. And when you leave what you have known as reality behind, you'll begin living real time in this vortex. We're not asking you to croak today. That's not what we're asking. We're not asking you to take a complete departure from everything that you know. What we're asking you to do is to accept the vibrational nature of your being and to let the way you feel be the only thing that really matters to you. We're asking you to care about how you feel because that's the only way that you will know at all your proximity to your vortex. We're asking you to no longer ask anyone else to behave any differently in order to affect your emotion. We're asking you to accept that you are in complete control about how you feel because you have the ability to focus. We're asking you to stop beating up on yourself or others. We're asking you to turn off your televisions for 30 days. Turn off your televisions for 30 days. You can feel the pains of withdrawal all around the room. Turn off your television for 30 days. Cancel your meetings with other people. Withdraw from the reality in every way you can. Now, you have to decide what you can and cannot do, but withdraw from as much of your reality as you can for 30 days and explore the recesses and the resources of your vortex. Fire up the passion of your imagination. Buy a notebook and call it your book of positive aspects and write in it as much as you have time for. And tune yourself in these small efforts to the vibration of who you really are. And on about day 3 or 4, inspiration to act in new ways will begin to occur to you. And as the inspiration occurs, follow through with it if you can in the moment that you think of it. Make the phone call, move in the direction of it, feel the pull of it. It's like Source taking you by the hand and saying, you've been mentioning this for quite a long while and I want to show you where it is. You've been mentioning that for quite a long while and I want to show you where it is. And then document in your notebook the evidence of things that you've wanted for a while, that are now vivid enough that you are seeing them in your mind's eye, seeing them in the environment around you, seeing the evidence of them. But even more than seeing it, or hearing it, or smelling it, or tasting it, or touching it, feeling the vividness of it. If someone says to you, you seem different, what's going on with you? Tell them, I'm withdrawing from reality. And before they muster too much alarm, say to them, but don't worry, I'm focusing into my vibrational reality, which really is present tense. As they say, well, you do seem happier, say to them, everything that I want and everything that I am is in this vortex where I am now focusing. And I've discovered that I'm addicted to this expanded version of me and that I cannot go back. Then say to them, I tried to go back for quite a while. I didn't really know about the existence of this vortex, and I was clinging to reality, but it was tearing me apart. And so I let go of reality, and I began thinking in terms of vibrational reality. And now there's no stress in my body. Now there's no pain in my body. Now there's no anger in my heart. Now there's no tension in my being. Now there's no resistance around me. And now I'm floating free in this vortex of cooperative components where all kinds of remarkable things are presenting themselves to me in just perfect timing. It's like the entire universe has been established just to support me. And your friend will walk away scratching his head, probably. But when you reach that place that you are ready to announce to anyone who you see that you have freed yourself from the clinging to this morning's eggs, and that you are now floating free in the expectation of all things as you've most wanted them to be. The body weight that I choose, the clarity that I seek, the friendships that I adore, the relationships with my children and my parents and my siblings and my friends that I have long been seeking. A feeling of patriotism about this nation in which I so proudly live. A feeling of exhilaration and appreciation about this planet that spins in its orbit and all that came before I got here in order to add support to that which I am. Appreciation for the infrastructure of my world, the economic infrastructure and the engineering infrastructure, the infrastructure that moves the food around, the infrastructure that moves the goods around, the appreciation that I feel for those who are trucking things from place to place and those that are repairing the roads to make it possible that it moves. The people that have the ideas and the people that have the businesses. My appreciation for the big businesses that are at the heart of so much of the commerce that is serving so many of us.